All right, coming at you live for part 3 of our demo slash and or repair job. This is what I was talking about. You got your vapor barrier at the bottom, tar paper, like a roofing tar paper. Then we've got our 2 layers here, layer 1 and layer 2 of the plywood. Then we've got our maple. Now, I'm trying to, as I've said before in the previous videos, trying to figure out the best way to go about getting this floor out. Because as you know, we're talking about hardwood, traditional tongue and groove hardwood. You're dealing with the staples. So not only are these pieces of wood tongue and grooved, but they're also stapled down. However, there are no staples going into the concrete itself. Obviously, this is your floating floor, so to speak. So, like I said, with the layers of the plywood being crisscrossed like this, it's hard to cut a section out and pull the whole section out. So the strat was to, or is for now, remove the hardwood pieces and then work layer down. So hopefully once I get the hardwood up, I can then cut down into the plywood and remove those pieces sort of all at the same time, because they're laying like this. So I'll be able to hopefully remove them. I can remove them in sections. The saw, this wood is really just taking its toll on the saw blade, because it's so, rock hard maple, it's hard. So what I'm doing now is going along the outside perimeter. I know it's a little bit of a rough cut, but I'll go back and finish it, and once I get it removed. Plan is to continue cutting along the edge, and then complete the whole perimeter. Like I said, the saw blade just gets really hot, starts smoking, so I gotta shut her down and let it cool off. It's been cooling off for a while now, so I want to get back to it and keep cutting it. Like I said, depending on how this is gonna do, I may do it in sections, like do strips. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to get the whole thing out in one shot, but the idea is to take me some sort of pry bar, whichever one of the ones I got to work, and then go underneath each section like this and sort of pop them out. I can probably almost pop these out. Almost, but like I said, they're tongue and grooved in together on either side. These will be easy to get out because there's no tongue or groove holding these in. It's just maybe a staple, and then the friction of being kind of tight in there. All right, so we'll come back in a little bit and see what the deal is. All right, I just cut the length of this wall, and blade saw is extremely hot. I'll look down here. If you don't already know, sawdust on a smooth finished floor, you might as well be walking on ice. Any sort of, you can just glide right across here. There's no resistance. And couple that on the fact that the floor is wavier than the waves at the beach. And so hold my temp gun up and see what we're looking at on the skill saw. See, 156, 163. It's out here towards the tip. See, we're getting 150 towards the middle. Yeah, so it's getting warm. Like I said, if you keep on with it, it'll start to smoke on you. Let's see where the gears are. So those it's getting on up there. 138, So 138 degrees in the worm gear area. So like I said, we're gonna keep on cutting. I'm gonna let the saw cool down for a little bit, and I'm gonna cut all the way up here, and we'll meet up at the first cut that I started before I recorded the first part of this video. And then we'll probably continue. We'll start hitting the end here and start trying to pull up and work our way here, maybe this way and then that way, and us just start taking the hardwood up from there. All right, I've cut all the way here, and I used a sawzall to join this cut right here. So like I said before, I think I want to start here, go to the left over here and get this bit, and then work my way down a little bit. This little strip right here would come off real easy, because really there's no tongue and groove on the end that's holding anything, and it's only on the edges. What I mean, there's nothing here grabbing, keeping that in, and obviously there's nothing here. So these should come out pretty easily, and that'll give me a good footing in some places. Sort of, I picked this area because it was at the edge of the floor, and this will give me a good spot to get a good footing in to start tearing the rest of the wood out, because that was the problem, was getting to the point where I could get at this wood, get at this layer, and that was the longest part, the most challenging part. As you see here, this wood right here is already moved, because I cut this straight line, and something's moved out of place and caused it to do that. I didn't cut it like that. Same way there. So it's already starting to move. Maybe it's relieving pressure off itself. Maybe not, because this is old. It's been like this. So anyway, we'll check back in just a few. All right, new strat. So I tried as best I could with different tools to get these to pop out, and to no avail. They didn't come out. So started running sawzall along the edges I've already cut, and these started popping out. So I'm even actually cutting into the plywood some, which is, plus I'm gonna do that anyway. So what I'm gonna do, as you can tell, these are already moving. I'm gonna run the sawzall around the edges I've already cut. I've set the blade depth at just at 3/4 inch, and with some of the way the boards are cupped and some of the waviness of the floor, I'm hitting whether I hit the bottom of the board or come out the bottom of it or cut it cleanly is hit or miss from plank to plank. So now it's obvious that I'm missing cutting the board completely. So good thing I've already got most of the work done with the circ saw, or with the worm drive saw. So now I'm just gonna go back and basically re-outline this edge, at least over here, and hopefully that'll help a good bit. All right, I'm always adapting and overcoming. So this way, I feel like if I start working this way, it's a little bit slow going in the short run, but in the long run, I think it'll help me out even more. Because see, what's going on is I'm pulling the staples out with the wood, with the hardwood anyway. So that means whenever it comes time to getting the plywood out, there won't be anything holding the plywood together. So the plywood should come out really quickly, and with minimal effort, aside from the fact that, of course, it's 4x8 sheets. So, to a certain point, it's gonna have to cut it again, but that wood's a lot softer and easier to cut than the hardwood is. So what I'm doing is I'm just using some I've got a couple blades I was using before, but I'm using the nail embedded Diablo carbide teeth or carbide tipped sawzall recip saw blades. And I've also got some, which I really like these blades, the axe blades. I said should take care of easily with any of the staples that I run into really quickly. And I like these blades because they're hard as a rock. I mean, you really have to put some force in it to bend them, and that means that, that means if you tip this blade and bottom it out, or if you aren't holding it at the right angle when you go to cut, you don't run the risk of bending the blade. Because I've got, let's see, I've got these two here that I just bent to hell, and even this little thin DeWalt blade. It's a thin kerf blade. I was using this originally to cut the top, to cut the subfloor apart with. It didn't last very long, and as soon as I hit the floor or hit one of these joists or one of these beams, it just bent. So I'm sticking with a shorter blade, 9-inch or less, and something that's really thick. Like I said, those axe blades work really good, and I'm liking this this wood blade from Diablo as well. But I'll give you a little demo. So basically, you're just pulling it out, just getting your pry bar underneath there, pulling it out. Same thing with this. You get it underneath there, give it a little taparooski, and then you just pop it on out. I only have one staple in it. Again, I'm only got one hand, so I'm having to switch. Pop it up underneath there, give it a good pop it right out, and you just keep going right along with what you're doing. And I think I'm probably gonna just keep cutting with that sawzall blade and keep going eventually till I get down to there, or at least close to it, and then I'll start going down this way. As always, if you're on a job site, it doesn't matter if you're by yourself, you want to take your hammer, beat down your staples or nails. Anybody else, you never know who's gonna walk through here, and you don't want anybody to unsuspectingly step on a staple. All right, just keep on rolling. All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to wrap up part 3. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and upload the video. So we've got all the hardwood out. It's not the best, straightest cut, but it doesn't have to be. What we're going to do now is take the plywood out. I've already started taking some pieces out. I know I said in the video originally they were 4x8 sheets of plywood, but they appear to be, at least here, they appear to be 4x4 sheets. At least maybe they were cut in a section so that they could have a little bit of a gap between each board. You see it on the top layer of the plywood, and you see it on the bottom layer here. It's like they were just kind of loosely laid into place. So anyway, we're gonna take the plywood out, take the old tar paper out, and get everything cleaned up real good, and then that's when we'll start. That's where we'll start video 4 at. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up video part 3. And then when we come back on part 4, I'm going to go through what the next steps are, what we're going to do. Like I said, check back in the next couple days, and I'll have part 4 up.